Alright, first step, fill this with a full bucket of alfalfa. Then we fill the second.
We're milking 2 cows, so once we get 1 cow in here, the other is going to be anxious. So we get everything ready before so when the 1 cow leaves, the other one will be ready to eat.
And we don't have to prep it a second time after milking the first cow.
This room here, so they can't, so the big cows can't get in and steal their food.
Alright, we got 2 for the little calves while they munch while we milk the other 2. They know it's ready, so the big one's getting ready to come get milk.
She'll open the door, so you have to keep this locked. Otherwise, she'll come over and she'll open the door. Okay. Now, typically what you want to do is, their tail is pretty long, and this little bucket is their diaper, catches any pee or poop, but you don't want their tail to dip in it and fling around on your head while you're milking. So we're going to take this
Little tail tie.
tail tie, put it on there. It up there so it keeps it up out of the way. Feet up, move feet. Okay. Now there's straps on here to keep it down on top of the plate. And we want to keep this thing up next to her butt. So we have hooks on either side. And keep it up tight so she doesn't miss whenever she goes poo. Okay?
Cool.
Well, you have to get warm water. Otherwise, she'll liable to kick you. If you can imagine putting a cold wash rag on yourself.
So first clean off the udders with a warm rag.
Now there's 4 corners. I typically will put my hand on each corner and just rotate. So first corner, put it on 1, clean up a little bit, then I rotate to the next corner, clean up the same one again. Then I rotate to the next corner, go to the second udder, and then rotate to the 4th corner and finish up that same one. Now I reverse it and start on the 4 corners again and go to the back. Now occasionally she'll try and kick, so you got to watch for her feet. So go to the 2nd corner, finish up on the 3rd teat. Go to the 4th corner. Finish up with 3rd and 4th corners on the last teat. Now, once you got them cleaned off roughly, you're going to take this iodine teat dip, and you're going to make sure that it's filled up to about, there's a little ridge there, about 1/2 inch down. Make sure there's dip up to that point. And then you're going to go back to the farthest teat away so that when you dip it, it's not dipping running down on your arm as you move around. So you're going to dip each one. You're going to hold it there for a second or two until you get most of the runoff. Now if you start on the first one and then put that's closest to you and put your hand in there, it'd be running down your arm all
Dripping all over everything.
Now you take 3 ripped off paper towels. Take the first one, double it in half, and wipe the first one closest to you. And then while you still have it doubled over after cleaning, take it, wipe the second one off behind it. Okay, so you get about 2 wipes out of each one. Double over, do the next one. And then while you still got some clean, do the fourth one. Now take the next, this is the third piece, and you're going to dip the very bottom just to get anything that was still on the very bottom. And then you're going to do a second grab on all of the original, turning the paper around to avoid getting very much more iodine remnants on your paper. Now, once you've done the second wipe, you're going to try and squeeze out a little milk to make sure that the teat's working. It's got any dirt plugged up inside out. Okay, once you got all 4 going, you're going to turn on the vacuum pump and close the little clips that seal the vacuum on the hoses. So I've got both of hoses sealed, and I look at the gauge and make sure that it's sitting on the red arrow, which is the proper amount of pressure vacuum for a cow. And then
So if you don't have a good seal, that it won't be on the right gauge.
Right, it won't. The pressure gauge won't be looking at the right spot. If you don't have enough pressure, it means you got a hole somewhere or the lid's not tight, because you're trying to create a vacuum in these hoses. So you want to create the vacuum before you put it on the cow to make sure that you got enough vacuum. Then hold it up there and release the clip, and it'll suck the teat right in. Push it up a little bit, make sure it gets all the way in. Then you're going to take the second bottle and do the same thing. Typically you're going to start on the back teats, because if she has an accident or something and peas are down and it misses, you want to make sure you already got those. And if they're not starting to flow, you don't have something up there right yet. So you should see a little bit of the teat poking down into the apparatus on the bottle. And you're just going to let them feel until they get to the top. Sometimes on cows, their teats aren't very big, and so you have to watch. Like on Pepper, we have to watch. We actually have to hold the bottles, because once it gets up a little full, that teat will get thin and it'll drop off. So she needs to get a little older, another calf, before her teats get big enough to hold these bottles. Sugar Baby here, she's had 2 calves? No.
3?
No, she's only had 1 calf. Anyway, her teats are a lot larger. She's only had Pepper. But Pepper's teats are a lot thinner. So if they're coming up full at the same time, what you're going to do is just close the clip on the hose to seal off the vacuum, so that when you take it off the teat, you don't lose all your vacuum and the other bottle drop off. So you're going to close the clip on one, whichever one seems to be filling fastest. Pull it off. You haven't lost the vacuum. We're going to wait for the other one to fill up, and then close the clip on it and pull it off. Now you're going to twist off and empty these into the milk bucket. Takes about a turn and a half. Empty it into the bucket. Don't take the lid too far away. You want to keep that lid covered, trying to avoid stuff dropping in. Then we're going to go back on the same teats. Release the vacuum and let it start going again. Empty the second one. And you're going to watch to when it looks like it's all done. Pulling milk in. Once it starts to get done, you'll see it go down to a really fine squirt, spray, whatever. Once it gets done, you're going to take it and just pull down slightly on the teat to get the last remaining milk out of it.
While it's still vacuuming.
Well, it's still vacuuming. You don't want to pull too much or it'll pull all the way off. So you're just kind of exercising the teat there, moving it around a little bit by pulling it up and down to get the last little bit of milk out. And we're going to do this again, but once it's about to that position where it's hardly coming out, then you're going to close the clip, because as soon as I pull the bottle off, you're going to lose vacuum. And that'll cause the other bottle to drop. So you close the clip, then pull it off, go to the next teat, release it, and the vacuum will suck it down in because you didn't release the vacuum.
Gotcha.
Do the same thing on the second bottle. As soon as it gets close, you're going to work it, pulling up and down to get the last little bit of milk out. When you leave milk in her, you run the risk of getting mastitis on the milk. So you have to get it all out.
Wait, say that again?
You leave milk in there, you run the risk of getting mastitis in the udder. So you want to make sure that you get it all out. Alright, now we're going to go to the next teat on her. Now, this one over here appears to be done, but by working it, you can see that we eventually get more milk out.
A lot more.
You have to just work them a little bit to make sure you're getting everything out. Now, some teats, some quarters will give more milk than others, so you're not going to get the exact same milk out of all of them. But you just want to make sure that you've pulled on the teat enough to get all the milk out. And then on the very end, we'll go back around and check them all again to make sure. You see it's starting to slow down?
Yeah.
We'll check it again. It looks like it's done, so we're going to close the vacuum off. Pull this off, set it aside, come back and finish this last one. Yeah, see how she's getting restless? She's done eating. So you want to try and time your food to being done with the milk. So if you haven't done your prep before you get in her, she'll get more restless and be bouncing all around. Now we're going to check this. Now we're going to go back around, check each of the teats, pull down a little bit, get a little more milk out. Normally I'll go around twice at the end, just to make sure I got it all. Because it will still be a little bit of remnants of the milk inside the udder flowing down to the very bottom there. And you'll still get just a little bit more. Closing the vacuum off, so when you if you still have vacuum in your hoses because you close the clip, then when you put the bottle up to the teat, you can release the vacuum and it'll suck the nipple down into the tube. So it helps to have a little vacuum there when you want to move it. Okay, now she's done. We'll turn off the vacuum pump, empty the milk out. Alright, now we're going to take and put some bag balm on her nipples to help keep her from getting chapped. And you're just gonna put it a little bit on your fingers. Come up and anytime you have your head down here, just be watchful of her feet so that she doesn't poke you in the head with her feet. Alright, and you have a couple of paper towels set aside to dry your hands off with the backbone. It's in here, so close the door. Put her feet in here. Because if she gets in here and finds no feed, she'll back right out. Okay, Pepper. Come on. Come on. Get in here. Come on. She doesn't know about you in here. Get up there. Come on. Come on. She's not sure about you. Come on. Get up here. If she ever gets rambunctious, the door closes and locks. Come on. Come on. Get in here. When she gets her head in there, lock it in. Close this door, keep the chickens out. And fix her tail. Now sometimes they're muddy or
Crappy.
gooey, so that's why you want to have gloves on. Okay, now we're going to clean her up. You undo the clips on the hoses so that when you run water through, it doesn't squirt back. You know, and rinse everything out. The bottles, these plastic bottles don't go in the dishwasher. If they do, they shrivel up.
Yeah, and they're like $12 each. I know.
These things, all the apparatus for the top of the bottle can go in the dishwasher. Rinsing just kind of gets the majority of paraphernalia off. Then run some water through the hose. And while you got the hose water finally warmed up, take and wash your hands because now you're going to be handling the milk. Put on your straight jacket because you got hay all over your clothes and you want to minimize the amount of hay you put in the milk. Put a filter in. Filter in a funnel. And this is going to catch all the floaties. You're going to filter the milk pretty quick after you bring it in so that any floaties that you have aren't sitting in the milk all day.
pretty good. It's not that dirty.
Right, now, this is what we'll do.
Wait, was this stuff pasteurized yesterday or just?
No, it was just filtered. Now we're going to pasteurize it. Okay, make sure it's sitting in there on the shelves. And you're going to strap this in by pushing these, see the hooks here? They're going to go down underneath the shelving on the side. Kind of lock it in. You can tell it's locked in if you can't pull it up. Kind of creates a little pressure in there. Didn't have to go over the top, because normally I take the top off to check the temperature once it gets close. And then just plug it in, put a lid on it, start a timer. It takes about 25-30 minutes depending on how cold the milk was.
And this basically will just heat it up to a certain temperature.
Yep, 156 degrees, 156 to 59.
156 to 159.